Hey guys, I'm Gina and I make videos about organization and intentional living. And today I'm going to be talking about mistakes to avoid, and I've got my notes in front of me, so that's what I'm looking at. So mistakes to avoid when starting out as a virtual assistant. I've mentioned in one of my previous videos, I believe it was my top 3 tips on how to get started as a VA, that I actually have worked as a virtual assistant / online business manager for the last 2 years. And I tend to see the same mistakes happening over and over again with women or men who are just starting out and they're wanting to build their client base. And these are also some mistakes that I made myself. So it happens to the best of us. So don't feel bad if you have been doing these things or you thought that this is what you need to do to build your business, because that's not necessarily the case. Okay, so number 1 is don't be a yes kid. Don't just keep saying yes, 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 yes every time a client gives something to you or wants you to do something or asks you to do something or is calling you at 9 p.m. or totally not respecting your boundaries, whatever it is. Don't be a yes kid and just allow that to happen. Know what you can do, know what you're good at, know what your boundaries are, make sure you state them from the beginning and then maintain them. Because if you continue to just say yes, 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 you'll end up burnt out, overloaded, and resentful to the client. So you do have some semblance of control. This is not like when you were in your 9 to 5 and whatever your manager told you to do, you had to do it. You have a this is a client contractor relationship, which means you can set boundaries a little better. You can state what you will and will not do and what you will and will not tolerate. You can do those things. So don't let old habits from being from working in an office setting spill over into you building your side hustle, because to be honest, if we're doing this on the side, our time is very, very limited, and we need to make sure that we maintain the integrity of that time. Okay, number 2, don't step out of your wheelhouse. This is a big one. Oh my goodness, I see so many virtual assistants, especially new people, all the time, which kind of ties in number 1, saying that they can do something or they know how to use a piece of software when they don't have the first clue what it is. Don't do it. You know what you can do, you know what you're good at, you know where your skills are, and that's where you stay. I'm not saying that you can't eventually expand your skill set and move out of wherever you're at, but when you're working with a client and they are paying you, don't get out. Just don't get outside your wheelhouse. Don't risk totally and utterly dropping the ball or screwing something up. Just because you're either trying to expand your skill set, which you can again expand your skill set, but there are other ways to do it, which I should probably talk about in another video. But just when they're paying you, stay in your wheelhouse. Just trust me on this. Okay, number 3. This is a big one. Don't overbook and undercharge. So if you have to make a certain amount of money because you've decided to do this full time before you were ready, but you want to fill your client roster and nobody wants to talk to you because they no experience, whatever the lie is, there are ways around that. Don't undercharge yourself, because then that just means that's that many more people that you have to work with to get to your goal amount, which then will leave you overbooked. So make sure that you are managing your time and your finances wisely. So if you're wanting to be a virtual assistant full-time, which you can easily do if you want to, just make sure that your 4 walls of your house are covered while you're building the business and bringing it to stability, and getting some long-term clients on the books where you are you're set. Don't, like, and I've mentioned that in my lessons I learned from my 2 failed businesses, is don't put the pressure of having to support you and your family on your baby business. You don't want to do that. And then because it puts you in a desperate space, which then means that you will grossly undercharge and then just take any and everybody, which will leave you overbooked and overworked, which then just leads to a train wreck. Ooh. And we don't want to train wreck ourselves. So don't set yourself up for failure by putting yourself in a desperate situation. So just make sure you are charging reasonable rates, and that I like to charge kind of like packaged up by hours, that you're also, you're packaging by because if you're working hourly and you're invoicing hourly, then that means that that's going to fluctuate. So you want to give yourself some stability, and you don't want to screw you want to make sure that you're creating packages of hours. That way they're guaranteed hours. And there are things that you can do. And I'll talk about that in a later video. So those are my 3 tips. And these are just things that I have seen that are so common amongst so many newbie VAs. So make sure that you kind of think these things through. Don't be a yes girl. Don't go outside your wheelhouse, and don't overbook and undercharge. And just to circle back to what I mean by don't go outside your wheelhouse, don't say that don't try and be a web design or web development, like you do web design or web development when you've never touched a WordPress site ever in your life. Or that's kind of what I mean by don't go outside your wheelhouse. So okay, you guys, in piggybacking on this side hustling, in my next video, I'm going to talk about the problems that I see with the Girl Boss community, and that one might ruffle some feathers. And to be completely honest, I don't really care because it needs to be said. So, all right, you guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye.